What's good, Commanders fans? It's me and my guy on the Warpath. Make sure you guys subscribe to on the Warpath channel. Has a great channel, man. Great Commanders content that he makes. Also, he does play-by-play announcing for football and basketball. So you gotta check him out on that. I'll definitely put his Instagram down below. So he wears a lot of hats, man. A lot of hats, man.
Sure.
You'll hear him on the radio a lot too, on all the airwaves. Definitely holding it down. Definitely never a dull moment with Warpath. How you feeling, man?
Bro, after you explained all that, bro, I'm tired. I'm tired. Just from you explaining that. Now I appreciate it. Although our boys couldn't. Some of our boys couldn't be on here. I know Kenny's not feeling well, and Carl's probably like passed out somewhere, wearing his wife's makeup. So it's sad, but we're gonna make this work. We're gonna make this work today.
Yeah, 100%. So this is the channel member stream, guys. If you do want to become a channel member, you can definitely sign up with the link below. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Like Warpath said, Kenny is under the weather, so we hope he recovers quickly. Brandon is not able to make it. Today is the trade deadline with the NBA, or tomorrow is the last day of the trade deadline, actually. But there was a couple moves that the Wizards made, so I definitely understand Brandon's got to make a bunch of videos talking about the Wizards and some of the moves they made. No matter how bad they are, how terrible they are, they still made a couple trades today. Oscar said he may be coming on late, so that's just an update on the guys. And then OG's OG. We'll see if he's on CP time tonight. But yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about the season, of course, and then some of the free agents, and then of course some of the trade scenarios and trade targets, and then we'll look at you guys' comments, of course. I want to shout out a couple people in the chat here. OG Newman, what's up, man? He said, I know it's off topic, but it was just finally blown up before the deadline. Both Kuzma and Giannis Valanciunas traded. So we're going to talk about that at the end. We're going to keep it Commanders to start off. And then, yes, I definitely don't mind talking about the Wizards. I can talk about the Wizards all day and all night, even though they are the worst team in the league, historically bad, almost as bad as the Bobcats from a couple of years ago. So we will leave that for the end of the stream. We'll talk a little bit of Wizards. You got to give the Wiz some love because I know nobody else will. Michael Abbas says Myles Garrett will be a Commander. Yes, we'll definitely get to that for sure. Jordan Wickline says we should not mortgage our future for one player. So it's a hot topic, guys. We know it. We know it's a hot topic. A lot of people are debating about it, and going back and forth on what they would give up for Myles Garrett and what they would not give up. So it's definitely a hot topic for sure. Cap regime. The standoff has begun. We got to slide with the $1 million Myles. Yes, everybody is talking about Myles Garrett. Cap regime. Kyle Kuzma, yes, we will talk about Kyle Kuzma a little bit towards the end of the stream. Ditimus says Myles Garrett, Wilson, both to DC. Yes, I wouldn't mind either or. Shattered Limerick says this offseason is a failure if we don't get Crosby or Garrett. All right, Warpath, I guess we'll just start off with that because everybody wants to talk about that. And Reese says, I'm not saying mortgage the future, but we have a ton of cap space, and Myles Garrett is an elite talent. I do not disagree with you on that, Reese, but we'll get to Shatter Limerick, what he said. So what are your thoughts on Myles Garrett, everything you've been hearing and seeing online, social media? I know he just did an interview with Mina Kimes. He also did an interview with another reporter, Sports Illustrated, and they did, of course, both interviews, they brought up the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. So what are your thoughts on Myles Garrett? What would you give up? What is your trade scenario? And then we'll go over a couple mock trades that I've seen. You've probably seen the same mock trades online as well. So,
I'm Bob Barker, man, and the price is right. I don't think you want to jump and mortgage all the future. But I think you got to make that. You're going to have to make a move to get an elite pass rusher. And I think, he kind of reminds me, he's got that demeanor like Charles Mann, right? He's like very professional, but he's aggressive on the field. He's a killer. And I like Myles Garrett. I've been a big fan of him since he's been up there in Cleveland. I mean, he had one incident that people make a big deal out of when Mason Rudolph allegedly said something to him. And right, if that's true, to say, he's lucky Mason Rudolph walked out of there on his own fruition too. But yeah, I would love to see him here. I think he's going to add that aggressiveness to the team that we need on that edge rush. Because let's be honest, Ed, our pass rushers were putrid. I know that Fowler got 10 sacks this year, but where the hell was he in Philadelphia? I'm trying to figure him out. I still did he not get on the bus? Because I didn't even see him. I love to see the snap count. So yeah, we need to get this bona fide killer here in DC, because you look at it this way: somebody that can set the edge against a Jalen Hurts, right? Somebody who can dominate a New York Giants, whoever they bring in, probably a rookie quarterback. We know that they'll probably be brighter than darker, but that's none of my business. And then somebody who can set the edge. This is all about beating the Philadelphia Eagles. And this is a guy that can help you get on the path to beating the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what you need. And we need somebody that can just go out there and be a game wrecker. We saw he did it in Cleveland. When he's healthy, he can go out there and knock some heads. And to say not to go get him, no. I want to bring this dude here because he's the best thing that Cleveland's had probably since rock and roll, and that's about it. And they let that walk out the door.
Yeah, no, I forgot about the old Mason Rudolph. I mean, how could I forget? It's just been so long. So I like the aggressiveness there for sure. He's a guy that, he was doing basketball moves and got a sack on Joe Burrow where he was just playing around out there. And no, you brought up some good points. I mean, we definitely need some guys that can set the edge. So I think we got a lot of solid players, but we just don't have a blue chip guy. We just don't have a difference maker.
Yeah.
Defensive.
And you can't pass up that opportunity to get a guy like I get frustrated with people when they say we need elite players at every position. You're not going to get elite players at every position.
Mm-hmm.
But what you need is an elite pass rusher. You need a quarterback that's elite. And then you sprinkle in. You're going to have about maybe 5. If you're a real good team, you're going to have like 5 to 6 elite guys on the team. Everybody else is going to be between very good and average at that point. And then you're going to have guys that are below average, right? So, you look at Kansas City, right? Who they got? Travis Kelce, who didn't have the best season, but he's an elite tight end. You got Mahomes, Chris Jones on that team as well. And you got some other guy, Nick Bolton, I would consider up there. And then how can you tell? He's been putting people in their places all the time. Harrison Butker, right? So you got an elite kicker in that respect. But, I'm just saying they've got those few guys that you can name off and they can change a game and wreck a game at any point. And you need that cat. We need more of those guys. We had a lot of average and good guys. We got to get our elite cats.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. Shout out to Oscar for coming on. Make sure you guys subscribe to Oscar's channel. I'll definitely put his link down below. How are you feeling tonight, Oscar?
I'm good, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, of course, we're talking about Myles Garrett. Just want to get your opinion on Myles Garrett and all the buzz that's been going on. What would you give up for Myles Garrett? Do you think it's worth giving up a couple firsts for Myles Garrett?
Man, I would love Myles Garrett, just because we need that pass rush help. Dorrance Armstrong and the others did fine, but I think we needed more. But first round picks, we would most likely have to give up like two first round picks and maybe a third. And I don't know if I'm ready to part way with those, man, honestly.
Mm. No, it's totally understandable. It's totally understandable. I know a lot of people want to hang on to the picks. I just think right now with Jaden being on that rookie deal, I just think you got to maximize him being on this rookie contract. 2 or 3 years from now, you're gonna have to pay him a max deal. With the Lamar Jackson deal, the Joe Burrow deal, Justin Herbert, or you even look at guys like Trevor Lawrence, middle tier quarterbacks that are getting big money and, they take the salary cap. So I think they need to take advantage of this opportunity right now. We've seen the interviews. I don't know if you guys saw the interviews, but, he said that he definitely would like to play with Jaden Daniels and play for the Commanders. So that's good news there. He didn't just outright say that, hey, I want to be traded. Like, he didn't go Brandon Ayuk style and say, I just want to go to the Commanders. But, we need it bad. We need a dominant pass rusher. We need a difference maker on the edge. So couldn't slow down. We had one of the worst rush defenses in the league this year. Struggled in the last game of the season. We won games with bad run defenses. Jahmyr Gibbs had 100 yards on the ground. We still won that game in the playoffs. Bucky Irvin had a good game. We still won that game. Bijan Robinson went crazy on us in that game. We beat the Falcons in overtime, even though we gave up 100 yards on the ground to Bijan.
Tyrone Tracy ran all over us.
Tyrone Tracy.
Rico Dowdle ran a couple of times on us.
Yeah, right. So, like that cool kid says, forget the picks. Like Michael Jordan says, forget those kids. The meme. That's kind of how I feel about it. Now, if you want to look at it this way, in the first round, if you get, would you rather have Luther Burden from Missouri, a wide receiver? Would you rather have Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M, or would you rather have Myles Garrett? And of course, there's more picks that would be involved. The first, probably 2 firsts, maybe even a third. People are throwing around Deron Payne, John Allen, but that's not realistic. So it probably just had to be 2 firsts, third, maybe a 5th, like the Khalil Mack trade, and then you get a 2nd round pick in return for all those picks, and you get Myles Garrett in the 2nd round pick.
Yeah, I think, we always see like the worst thing about when you get these trades coming in is that the media always like overvalues a trade, or they might undervalue it. It's never in the midline, right? So they just throw it out there. 2 first round picks. But as it goes on, maybe you circumvent it, because right now we're at 29. So how many blue chippers are going to be at 29 when we pick on first round? Not necessarily they're going to be there. So that's one thing. So maybe those 2 first round picks, because you think in future we might be at 27 next year, or we might be picking at 31 next year. Who knows? So maybe that. So sometimes the juice is worth the squeeze in that respect, but I mean, I don't know. It's all a speculation game until they get pen to paper and everything. And they can get the trade done now, like we did when we traded for Alex Smith and broke the bank on that one. So they could get it done, but it just wouldn't be done until the League New Year next month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they could get this done. This time they wouldn't tell Doug Williams to put his phone away. Everybody's on the same page now. And, we have a darn good culture for sure. So Khalil Mack, he got traded from the Raiders to the Bears. The Bears gave up 2 first round picks, a 3rd round pick, and a 6th round pick for Khalil Mack. And then a 2nd round pick was attached to Khalil Mack to go to the Chicago Bears. So that was the trade right there. Cat Regime says we're going to the Super Bowl with Myles Garrett, period. There's still some more moves that we need to make. But
he played running back too. He played running back,
receiver,
he played guard.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. He gonna be left tackle next year. Okay, let's ball.
Right. Yeah. All right, so let's get to some of the in-house free agents. So, I mean, Myles Garrett. I mean, he's been Defensive Player of the Year candidate, all-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro. 16 sacks in a season, just dominant guy. Creates a lot of pressure, is good against the run. So, I mean, you really can't go wrong with Myles Garrett. And another thing I will say is you don't want to let a divisional rival get Myles Garrett, because we know they will. We know a divisional rival will be aggressive and try to trade for Myles Garrett. We've seen them do it in the past and be aggressive for many, many players. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were aggressive again and went after Myles Garrett.
Them pigeons.
Right. But all right, let's do a little who should stay, who should go, and then people in the chat, you guys can chime in. I know we've done this a little bit before, but I do want to get you guys' opinion on some of the free agents that are going to be, some of the guys on the team that are going to be free agents this year. So I guess we'll start with the wide receiver room.
Oh God.
We'll do a group by group, position by position. So let's see who is a free agent. So let's start off with De'Ami Brown. What are your thoughts on him, Oscar? Would you bring De'Ami Brown back, or would you let him walk?
I would bring him back. He proved his worth, especially in the playoff games. It kind of sucks that, the beginning of his career, Ron Rivera didn't use him right. And at the beginning of the season, he was iffy, but then he, as you notice, like he kept on getting better and better. And, I would definitely bring him back on a team friendly deal, because he could be our 1-2 punch with like the Lions have in Jameson Williams and and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So,
yeah, I mean, he had a great playoffs. He had a great the two playoff games. He was really good. We don't win those games without De'Ami Brown. We don't win that Lions game without De'Ami Brown. We don't win the Buccaneers game without De'Ami Brown. De'Ami Brown was awesome in that game, especially the catch that they had on Kirby Joseph. I mean, he definitely surprised me for sure. Like, he had the games of his life in those two games. All right, we got OG in the chat.
Oh, I know that ain't who I think it is. I know
I'm driving, man.
They got you on work release? You on work release, Carl?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I heard that.
Yeah, I'm delivering the big bites to you today.
I know you out there eating your big bites up and everything. I see, brother. Okay, get your chili cheese and your nacho cheese and all that stuff. I got you.
Oh, man. Sorry for being late, y'all. I just got on work.
No, you go. We know you're on CP time, man.
Just like that, Big E.
But, since OG's in the chat, I guess we'll go over our preseason predictions. OG, we'll go first, man. I'm trying to remember the record that you predicted when we did the show when everybody was on here. I know. I think Oscar. I don't know if I can't remember. Oscar was the wrestling judge again, or if he was more optimistic this time.
He was the Russian judge.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you were.
No, I understand for sure. But I think you had us winning more than 6 games. I do think you had us doing that.
I had us at 11.
Okay, so yeah, OG, I'll start with you. You had us at 11, and I guess how surprised were you that the season went the way that it went with your prediction?
I'm very surprised. They fought, they were competitive, they never gave up, and they believed in one another. And it just, I'm amazed. And like losing the Philly game, I didn't want to go to the Super Bowl, but I couldn't be mad because they overachieve, and it's like we're like a year or two ahead already. So I'm really excited, and I'm thankful, man.
Yeah, I know you saw that picture from Warpath. But how about you, Oscar? How surprised with you? What was your record prediction?
I think I had us at 9 and 8.
Okay, yeah, it's not bad.
9 and 8, 10 and 7. I mean, I thought that maybe because I honestly didn't know what the team was going to look like with Jaden Daniels, and I was like, because recently these rookie quarterbacks, aside from CJ Stroud, take their time to develop. So I thought maybe this is the year we do another 7-10 season, but it's a good 7-10 season, and then the following year will be competitive. But when I saw 7-2, and I'm like, 7-2, okay, maybe 11 wins is possible. I never thought 12-5. I thought that 12-5 was not in the cards at all.
Yeah, no, seriously. The over under was 6.5. I had us at 9 and 8, I believe. And for year one, like you said, a rookie quarterback to come in and lead the team to 12 wins and really 14, including the playoffs, is definitely unheard of, especially with his circumstance where the defense was the 18th ranked defense. You look at the other rookie quarterbacks that made it to a championship, a conference championship game, like Brock Purdy, everything was perfect around him. He had a top 5 defense. Russell Wilson had a top 5 defense. Ben Roethlisberger had a top 5 defense. Joe Flacco had a top 5. Mark Sanchez had a top 5 defense and a run game. So Jaden had to put the team on his back, man. He really had to put that Superman cape on. So how about you, Warpath?
Yeah, I had 7 and 10. I thought that we could double up from a year ago. Well, we were 4 and 13 that year. But I was like, I don't know. I think we could have. So I thought the beginning was going to be rough, and we'd get better as we went on. But one of my predictions did come true. I said, outside of the NFC Championship game, I said I didn't think we were going to get blown out of a lot of games, and we didn't. We fought in every single game this year, and then the ball rolled our way a couple of times. The defense got some key stops. I was pleasantly surprised by this team, and the energy that Dan Quinn brought to the team. Cliff Kingsbury, I was very skeptical about him and his offensive play calling. I thought that he was going to have them lulls that he did, but I also said, hey, this is his first time as an primary offensive coordinator in the NFL. He had never done that. He was just jettisoned into a head coach in the NFL. So, and then Jaden and how he played and how he kind of unleashed Terry's game as well. And the pieces that he had around him and elevated their play. Olamide Zaccheaus, De'Ami Brown, like we talked about. Zach Ertz had a unicorn season as that number 2 target. We didn't think he was going to come out here. I didn't think he's going to play in every game, let alone have the output that he had. So that was good. And then, if we had a little bit more from the running game, probably would have been helpful to him developing. But wow. I mean, 12 wins was not where I was going to go with this team. And I was like, okay, it's okay to believe a little bit, man. It's okay to believe.
And if I can add a little more, when I saw that 3-game losing streak, 7-5, I was like, this is where the downfall, because a lot of people were talking about this is where Cliff Kingsbury is going to fall off the cliff. Had great starts to the season, but couldn't finish it. And I thought, it was somewhat friendly, but after the bye week, I thought, maybe after the Saints game, we win that, but that's pretty much it. I didn't know that it was going to end up being a 5-game winning streak to end the season too. That was wild.
Right. I mean, to your point, Oscar. I mean, I think a lot of people fail to realize that the downfall in Arizona too. Their defenses were bad, along with the offense. Their defense, sometimes the offense was keeping them in the games, and the defense gave up opportunities for them on that other side. So, I mean, both things can be true at the same time, but he wasn't controlling the whole team.
But even in that, in recent years past, these are games we would have lost, and we won them. So, like, I make no excuses for nobody having a bad defense, having a bad offense, because we had a bad everything. Coaching staff, front office, owner, everything. And for us to prevail the way we have and not give up, that Hail Mary, that right there set the tone for the remainder of the game. And I picked us to beat the Bengals. These people wasn't going for no 3 points. Back Ron Rivera, they were going for 3 points. This man was going for the jugular every time. He made it so easy for you to think that, okay, well, they down now, we can stop them. No, you can't. He put an impressive drive together every time. And I'm like, I could not believe that these were the games we would lose. And we ended up winning. So, yeah, we may have got the ball to bounce a couple of times for us, but at the end of the day, they never gave up. And that right there that is impressive for this franchise.
Yeah, cardiac commanders, man. Cardiac commanders. The biggest difference is a quarterback. We got a coach now. We got a coach that will go for it on 4th down, that gets the guys ready, puts that batter in their back for sure. Cliff didn't fall off a cliff. He had a great second half. We ended the Bears season with the Hail Mary. And we finished a lot of games in the last second. Even the Cowboys game where Terry had to catch at the end of the game. The overtime win with Jaden Daniels against the Falcons to clinch the NFC, to clinch a playoff berth. 5 touchdowns against the Eagles. So many moments that we came in clutch at the end, especially having a quarterback there. As long as Jaden Daniels gets the ball with a minute left in the game, you're down by 3, you're down by 5, you have a chance every time. If it wasn't for the Austin Seibert missed extra point, we would have beat the Cowboys in that game. We probably would have beat them in overtime. So you just always have a chance. You always have a chance. So Myles Garrett, OG, we'll get your thoughts on Myles Garrett. What are your thoughts on Myles Garrett? Everybody, for the majority, wants Myles Garrett, but I do see some comments saying that trading for Myles Garrett would be a Daniel Snyder move. I don't think it would be that bad of a move. But what are your thoughts on that, OG?
I think we ought to go in, and the reason I say that, and I'm glad that some of this fan base is reminded of the things that we used to do. But when we did it, we had messed up ownership, messed up front office, messed up coaching staff. Here, we don't have neither one of them. So if they go for it, and if the price gets to the point where we may have to do 3 first rounds, I had to really contemplate this. Like, I would be okay with it because I believe he's just that dominant. I believe he is what we need to help on that back end so that we can start sending Louisville a little bit more or Jeremy Chin a little bit more so that we can start getting a little bit easier to maybe not pass knockdowns or turnovers. Because that's what Dan Quinn defense is about. Putting pressure on the quarterback to throw the ball when he don't want to throw it. And we do have people that can catch, Hopefully, it's not St. Juice on the team anymore, but we do have people who can't catch. So I would give up 3 first-round picks, and I'm still not settled yet because I would go out to Tyreek Hill too. I truly would. I would get that man a weapon on both defense and offense to go with Terry. I would definitely do it, man. I wouldn't care if I ain't having enough but two draft picks left. I would go get them. I would.
No, I love it. I love the aggressiveness, OG. I love the aggressiveness. Tyreek, I'll pass on Tyreek, especially with the last game of the season. He didn't want to go back in the game. Myles Garrett, yeah, I would do 2, not 3. I would do 2 first and then maybe like a third or something like that. But 3 first is probably where I would stop. But I know I get it. You want to get that dominant pass rusher. You want to get that guy who can change a game for sure. Tyreek, I like Tyreek a lot, but I'm out on him after that. I'm out on him after that move that he played.
Hey Ed, can you imagine Philadelphia getting Myles Garrett doing whatever it takes to get him?
No, yeah, I hear you. That's why I'm all in too, because I know the Eagles will do something like that. They don't care. They'll trade. Howie Roseman will trade 3 first round. He will do stuff like that. We know he will, and he'll do it just so we won't get him. We know what the Eagles do. They always get all our players and stuff like that. Every time we cut somebody, they get him. Even Rosemy Jack Saint, they went and signed him. Players like that. Was Armani Rogers? We cut Armani Rogers. They picked him up. They love picking up our players. They love doing stuff like that. So. I totally understand where you're coming from. And I don't want to let the Eagles do that. But Myles Garrett, he's somebody to look at. Tyreek Hill, I would pass on him. So we're going to get to some other players like, Cooper. We'll probably talk about Cooper Kupp a little bit and Kyle Pitts and some other guys and some other guys that we've been linked to a little bit. But we started the who should stay, who should go in free agency. We started with De'Ami Brown. We're going to start with the receivers first. OG, what are your thoughts on De'Ami Brown? Would you bring him back or would you let him walk in free agency?
He will have to be on a serious, super friendly type contract, like a 2-year deal for like maybe $6 million in order for him to come back because we still need a right tackle. We need a right tackle and probably going to free agency and try to find a corner or two. So I wouldn't mind him coming back. I think he would probably be my 3rd or 4th option. Unfortunately for Noah, I think he probably got one of those career-ending injuries. So I'm not really thinking too much about Noah that much. Olamide Zaccheaus, I want him gone away from the DMV. You can go drop passes and fumble all you want somewhere else.
Warpath, what are your thoughts? Let's say you have a
Carl went from bashing Dan Snyder to talking just like Dan Snyder. It nothing surprises me anymore here. De'Ami's he's still got to prove it. Like 3 years, 17 games doesn't make up what happened over the past 3 years. And we say he's been played in the wrong spot. I still remember in 2022 when he had a day with Carson Wentz and he was never able to replicate it. I think he needs to be rewarded for what he did this season. But to Crackhead Carl's point, it needs to be on a team-friendly deal. Mm-hmm. And to me, if y'all saw his end of season interview, it was just like, I want to be here, but this is a business, right? So that sounds like a dude who's looking to cash in this off season. If he want to be here, I'm Bob Barker. This is The Price is Right. We tell you what the price is right. You can accept it or you can walk your butt out the door because we can find hired assassins. It worked. It worked last year. Think it work again.
Who I don't want is Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, no, Stephon Diggs. No, you're right, Carl Snyder. You're right. No, Stephon.
I don't want Stephon, but why don't you want Stephon Diggs?
Yeah, but he want Tyreek, but Carl want Tyreek Hill though. You're gonna expand the nursery. You're gonna expand the nursery up there at FedEx or Northwest Stadium by 3 rooms just so he can have all his baby mamas and childrens up in there too. You know that, right, Carl? He's like the Black Phillip Rivers.
Nah, that man he's one of one. We've never seen a wide receiver like him.
You ain't getting one.
I don't know. Phillip Rivers ain't did nothing but keep making babies
There you
and
go.
fall asleep behind the wheel.
There you go.
All right, Oscar, we're going to transition to Bobby Wagner. What are your thoughts on Bobby Wagner this season? Would you bring him back or let him walk?
That's a tough one because of the veteran presence, and because he has that connection with Dan Quinn. I'm torn 50-50 on that one.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally understand. I mean, he has a great relationship. He has a great relationship with Jaden. Him and Jaden are best buddies. They like playing basketball together, like joking on each other, joning on each other, and cooking each other. You know, him and Jaden's mom got a good relationship too. They go to Wizards games together and whatnot. We've seen them together. So, no, I understand. I mean, a lot of people are torn on Bobby because clearly, you know, he's on the last leg of his career, still playing at a Pro Bowl, all pro level. But when it comes to speed, that sideline to sideline speed, it just doesn't have it. And it showed in that NFC Championship game. We definitely need a linebacker in there with more speed. But he is the quarterback of the defense. He's a captain of the defense. He's a leader. He's like another player coach. When he does retire, I would love to see him be on the staff, just like Ryan Kerrigan. How about you, OG?
I've been contemplating this for about a week now, and I want Wagner. I think if he can lose some weight, maybe like 10 pounds, so he can move a little bit better. That leadership we can't replace. The way that he talked to them brothers, man, you just can't replace that. Now, why I contemplate on it is because Nick Bolton is a free agent, and that's a young version of Bobby Wagner. Now, I know it's going to be a little bit more pricey, but I want Wagner back. But if, for some odd reason, they do not bring him back, I would like to see Nick Bolton here.
Yeah, Nick Bolton. He's a run stopping linebacker. He's more of a similar, like you said, to Bobby, where he's a thumper, where he's stopping a run, slowing down the run game. Bobby did a great job slowing down the run. He doesn't miss tackles. That's one thing for sure. That's one thing you're going to get from Bobby Wagner. And then we don't win that Buccaneers game without Bobby Wagner. He fell on that fumble from Baker Mayfield. That was a big play by him. You know, just fall on the fumble. We lack. There's a lot of times where we're not able to fall on the fumble. Just like other teams, they have a knack of getting to the football. For some reason, over the years, we've struggled to do that. How about you, Warpath?
Yeah, ain't that hard. Yeah, you bring him back. You bring him back, and you bring you draft an heir apparent to him, because you can't replace that intangible, that leadership. I still think about what he said in Tampa during the playoff game. He said playoff games ain't any different than any other game. He said it's just who maintains focus, right? We haven't had a leader like that in that locker room. Now, his play, is he a little slow? Yeah. But in his plays diminished a little bit, but he can still go out there and ball. Maybe you want to peel back his playing time a little bit. And we saw once he got on that stride, he looked slow in Tampa in week 1. But about the time we got to play in Cleveland and all them boys, he was in midseason form and he was rocking and rolling. The man don't miss games. I don't think he's missed a game in 5 or 6 years or something like that. Yeah, you bring him back. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it looks like he's probably going to come back anyway. He was already at the end of the year press conference and all that good stuff too. So with Josh Harris. So yeah, I think we're going to be ready to rock and roll. Bring him back.
Yeah, he was there. And that's a good sign, like you said too, that he was there to listen to the press conference, because if he was checked out, he definitely wouldn't have won. To that. Shout out to the Philly Talk podcast. My guy Philly Mike. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. Even though he is a terrible Eagles fan, they got a jailer in the stadium. They don't know how to act. We saw some of the parades on Broad Street and whatnot, and they don't know, they're climbing up light poles and stuff like that, and eating horse dung and cars, people running over each other on Broad Street and whatnot. They got the jail in the stadium. We know how Philly fans get down. We know how you guys get down. So I'm a big Chiefs fan on Sunday. Unfortunately, I hate to do it, but I got to do it. I got to root for the Chiefs. I got to root for Taylor Swift and Pat Mahomes and the refs and Travis Kelce. I don't want to do it, but I got to do it.
Philly fans have replaced Dallas fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're the worst fans in the league by far.
Yeah, I always said it's either, if you get me to pick the Taliban or Philadelphia, I'm picking the Taliban every time. So I never Never root for the Eagles.
The mayor of Philly can't even spell Eagles. She can't even spell Eagles.
No, she's incompetent. God damn, it's a piece of trash.
Yeah. The fans booing Santa Claus. The fans throwing batteries at people and stuff.
Beat up Chief Z.
Yeah, Chief Z. Eating horse dung. We all win the Super Bowl. So I don't want to see the Eagles win again ever. Jalen Carter has an illness.
The coach shushing his own fans.
Right, yeah. Shaving his head. Jalen Carter has an illness right now. We don't know how true of an illness it is, especially if he's down in New Orleans in the middle of the week.
Hope he ain't playing.
Well, you know Jalen Carter, when he get down there in them championship games, he like to party hardy and need the speed. Need for speed. So
yeah, Fast and Furious Need for Speed right now for Jalen Carter. But all right, so let's move on to the next player here. Let's go with Dante Fowler. OG, what are your thoughts on Dante Fowler his season? Would you bring him back or let him walk?
I think if we get a pass rusher like Myles Garrett, I think he's not coming back because I don't think he's going. He's played himself into at least a decent amount of money in my eyes. So I don't think he's coming back. I don't, because the amount of money we're gonna probably spend, we're gonna have to replace a lot of people. Because remember, we got 29 free agents, and we got to fill them holes. It won't be just all through the draft, so I don't think he's coming back. I don't think he's coming back. Although they probably want him back, I don't think he's coming back.
How about you, Oscar? Breaking news: Jimmy Butler was traded to the Golden State Warriors. Just for breaking news for the NBA. But how about you, Oscar?
Same here. If they get Myles Garrett, he's not coming back. He had an incredible season. 10. What was it, like 9 sacks, 10 sacks, something like that? But if we get a legitimate pass rusher, I just don't see him coming here and being a rotational piece.
Yeah, I would like to see Dante Fowler back as a backup. I think if they do bring in Myles Garrett or Khalil Mack or whoever, I would still like to see him on the roster. I did like, of course, he had the pick 6-2 against the Panthers. Like, he had some really big games for us where he jump-started the defense and just bringing that pass rush that we really needed. Now, I don't think he's going to get a big contract. Even though he had 10.5 sacks, I don't see him really getting a big deal. I think he's going to be, he's going to have a bunch of one-year deals for the rest of his career, or short-term 2-year deals. And he loves Dan Quinn with a passion. Him and Dan Quinn have had a great relationship throughout his career. So I would like to see him back on a fair deal. How about you, Warpath?
Yeah, the only thing is he disappears when I'm like, I'm still trying to figure out in some of the playoff games what happened to him. But he'll be 31 at the beginning of the season. Yeah. Bring him back. The only reason why I bring him back is I'd let Cleveland Farrell walked away of the dog, so that's why I'd bring him. I'd just bring back Farrell.
You would bring back Farrell?
Yeah, I bring back. No, I wouldn't bring back Farrell. I'd bring back Fowler. Excuse me.
Okay. All right, so we'll group in, guys. Do this rapid fire here. Zach Ertz, KJ Osborne, and let's see here another. We'll throw in Jeremy McNichols. So KJ Osborne, Jeremy McNichols, and Zach Ertz. Would you guys bring those 3 guys back? I'll start with you, Oscar.
Zach Ertz I would bring back. The other ones can walk.
Okay. How about you, OG?
Zach Ertz, I agree with Austin.
Mm-hmm. How about Osborne and who was the other player?
You don't even know who it is, so why should he come back on the team? You don't know who he is, Ed. Come on, bro. McNichols.
Who we play for?
Who you play for? Okay, Charles Barkley. Wong Dong Tigers. Ni hao. Ni hao.
What's wrong with it, man? Been smoking again?
Hey, McNichols, OG.
Nah, I wouldn't bring. Nah, I'm good. I think all those are replaceable other than Zach Ertz.
because of the fumble he had.
Not just that. I think McNichols probably he probably gonna fight for maybe some starting time and being the number 2 back on another team that probably value or deem him a little bit as a priority more than what he is here, because I believe we're gonna draft him running back.
Mm.
Yeah.
How about you, Warpath?
Yeah, I bring back Ertz. You know, in kind of like with Bobby Wagner, reduced role. Hopefully, Ben Sinnott can overtake him as a number 1 tight end, or however they see fit in that respect. McNichols, he's good pass blocker, but like I said, that fumble and sometimes on the kickoffs, I can't deal with it. And KJ Osborne, he was there. The 4 of us had more catches than KJ Osborne this season, so probably no, go on, bye, see you. So McNichols and Osborne gone. Yeah.
He had one more penalty than us. That's the only thing he can show for us.
That's true. Yeah, it's true.
It was a false start illegal formation. All right, so next 3 guys. So we'll do Jeremy Chin, Noah I, and Ben St. Juice. And Oscar, I'll start with you.
Noah I am 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Let Ben St. Juice walk out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one?
Noah I, Ben St. Juice, and Jeremy Chin.
Oh, Jeremy Chin. He's probably looking for a long-term contract. If it's friendly, bring him back. If not, let him walk.
How about you, OG?
Noah I'm on the fence with him. I really am. Jeremy Chin, I definitely want to bring back and I think he wants to come back. I think he found a home. I know he probably is not going to get the money that he want to get. Maybe he play on another 1-year deal, prove it. And the other guy you said,
Ben St. Juice.
Oh, he was already cutting halfway through the season, so I ain't worried about him.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. How about you, Warpath?
Well, I've been on record of saying that Ben St. Juice should have been deported for crimes against the United States already. They should have deported him back to Canada probably midway through the season. So, the green card is expired and ripped up. He can go play for Winnipeg or somewhere up there. No question. And Noah Igbenogany, I'm going to say it. I'm good. It's just some moments that he had were kind of like gut wrenching. Those pass interferences, those holds. That he was solid at times, but I just think, and plus he went to Auburn, so he can walk. And then Jeremy Chin, Price is right on him. I'd bring Jeremy Chin back in a heartbeat. Health was another question. It's kind of like with Zach Ertz, right? Health was a question for him. The talent was undeniable. And he went out there and played, and he was like a chess piece. They played him all over the field. That's an intangible that you can't teach. Is go out there, and that's a football player, as John Gruden would call him. So, I'd bring Jeremy Chin back.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Marcus Mariota, Michael Davis, and we'll go with Marcus Mariota, Michael Davis, and we'll go with Cornelius Lucas. Those are the next 3 guys. Warpath, we'll start with you.
Yes to Mariota. Lucas, we always bring him back, so why not? And I think he played well in some of those situations. And then bring him back for competition's sake. Who was the last one? Who's the middle one?
Michael Davis.
Oh, God, why you even ask that question? Why you even ask that question? That man should have been living in an Uber trailer just to get him out. Like, they literally, a rookie picked on him. Did we not see Sunday Night Football when they literally, old boy from Saturday Night Live was picking him apart? Chris Redd was picking him apart the whole time, bullying him. I don't want you here. You just a tall bag of bones playing corner. No, I'm good. Bye.
All right, so that was Michael Davis, Mariota. How about you, Oscar?
Bring back Mariota. Cornelius Lucas, I guess he's going to retire at Washington. Why not? Michael Davis, no. No.
Yeah, he might go down as one of the worst corners in Commanders' skins and Washington football history.
No, he not. No, he can't. He ain't.
Isn't it? Well, Emmanuel
He ain't Ben St. Juice.
Ben St. Juice, Emmanuel Forrest, David Emerson. There's a couple guys we could definitely go through that were pretty
Oh,
bad.
Lord. Emmanuel Forrest, feed the children. Good God. Lord.
Emmanuel Forbes. How about you, OG?
The reason why I say we're not going to bring Marcus Mariota back because the Raiders don't have a quarterback currently, and Chip Kelly is down there. And remember, he was under Chip Kelly in Oregon. So to run that offense, who better to run it than Marcus Mariota? And what Marcus Mariota meant to us and Jaden Daniels this year said the most for whatever quarterback that they may attempt to draft. That will be a mentor or a stopgap until that quarterback gets them together. So I don't think Marcus Mariota is coming back for two reasons. Because we're probably going to be out of his price range. And two, he's going to want to go ahead and go down there with Chip Kelly and finish it out. The corner, I don't know his name. I don't even, matter of fact, he ain't even played. Lucas, the only thing he can do is be a backup. So he will be serviceable to our left tackle, Brandon Coleman. So that's the only reason I would bring him back.
Yeah, Michael Davis is definitely a forgettable guy here. Like I said, he's definitely a top 5 first corner that I've watched for the Skins and Wizards and Washington football team. Like I said, we've seen some really, really bad corners, Ben St. Juice included, Emmanuel Forbes, David Emerson. I mean,
Josh Wilson.
Josh Wilson, he was pretty darn
Josh Wilson wasn't bad. Don't put Josh Wilson in that.
Oh, just because he a local guy. No, he not gonna get it. He was
Josh
terrible.
Wilson did some good things here.
In Baltimore, he did good things, but then he come here. EJ Biggers was terrible.
You know what it is? I know what it is. You and Morgan Freeman been arguing again, and you want to bring that
Morgan Freeman? What are you looking like? You look like Morgan Freeman standing. Don't play with me, Pops.
No, he looks like he's been around for about 1,000 years.
No,
I've been around for
about 500 years.
100,
yeah. About
500,
999, right?
100. And you better not be trying to breastfeed my nephew either.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Stop wearing
you know your nipples are wet in that daggone press conference.
All right, fellas. So we're going to transition to Kyle Pitts here. So we're going to transfer to the article that came out a couple of weeks ago that said that we could have interest. Of course, there's a lot of rumors and reports now saying that the Commanders could be interested in this player and that player because we're a good team now. So a lot of people are going to be connected to the Commanders. There's going to be a lot of interest. We have the cap space. We have the draft picks. Adam Schefter said that players are going to want to come here and play with Jaden Daniels. We heard what Myles Garrett said earlier at a Super Bowl interview in New Orleans, talking about potentially playing with Jaden Daniels, potentially playing with the Commanders. So we'll talk about a couple of the trade candidates. Cooper Kupp just requested a trade. There's been no reports that we're interested at all. Just want to get you guys' thoughts and your pulse on it. Oscar, what are your thoughts about Cooper Kupp being available?
If this was 3 years ago before injury-prone Cooper Kupp, I would say why not? But he's just too injury-prone. I don't, we need that complement to Terry McLaurin, and availability is the best thing. So I would not, me personally, I would not bring Cooper Kupp here to Washington. There are better options out there.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that. I mean, ever since really the Super Bowl run, his games played have gone down. He hasn't had a 1,000-yard season, I believe, since that Super Bowl season where he went crazy for 1,900 receiving yards, which is just insane. Yeah, ever since the 2021 season, he has not had 1,000 yards. He has not had a 900-yard receiving season since that 2021 season where he had 1,947 yards and 145 catches. So he just has not been able to stay healthy. Puka Nacua is clearly their number one option. Sean McVay knows that. Everybody knows that. So he's moving forward with Puka Nacua and trying to find some other guys. And the contract, but OG, I'll let you give us your take on Cooper Kupp since he is available via trade.
First, Cooper Kupp, he did not ask for a trade. He actually wanted to stay there.
That is
Now,
true.
Garrett asked for the trade. He wants to stay there. I agree with Oscar. The man can't stay healthy, but here's my one thing that makes me about maybe 30% want to go after him is that we got Zach Ertz, and remember Zach Ertz couldn't stay healthy. He ended up staying healthy the whole season. I'm not saying that he'll stay healthy the whole season, but if he can come here and go on the other side, and we can get somebody. And I'm not saying this is what is going to happen. Maybe like a Darius Slayton, since y'all don't want Tyreek Hill, and you assemble that. That's a hard matchup problem right there because Slayton can actually get down the road, and Cooper Kupp is a route runner. That's going to leave Terry one-on-one with somebody that is probably incompetent. So I'm up in the AO on it. I know it's going to probably take maybe a 5th or a 6th round pick, maybe even a 7th round pick to get him. I'm cool with it, but I want to tear that contract up because I'm not paying him no $19 million. I'm not. And I don't even have $19. So you already know I'm not paying him $19 million. So
well, yeah, we'll see if he gets released. I think there's a possibility that he would get released. I don't see a team trading for him. You got to take on that salary, which is a lot. It's like $19 million or $20 million even for him. He's 31, 32 years old. The injuries have piled up. At best, he really is a wide receiver number 2 or 3. What are your thoughts, Warpath?
Yeah, the man's been on the decline since his Super Bowl season. That was really like a unicorn season, right? He almost had, 1,900 yards. That's right.
you ain't go to work today?
Yeah. He was, I wouldn't like this move, to be honest with you, if you got to trade for him. But like Carl said, if he's cut or, pick him up in free agency and get a fly. The guy, I think he's going to be 32 at the start of the season. I'm like, okay. Like all right. I mean, he's not elite. He's a good receiver now. So, but the health thing that is what's really concerning to me is that he's already plateaued and he hasn't been able to replicate each year. He's gotten worse, and he played about the same amount of games last year as he did this year and had less yardage. So yeah, I'm good. Pass. Hard pass.
All right, so let's talk about Kyle Pitts. Warpath, what are your thoughts on Kyle Pitts? Because there's a little bit of smoke. There has not been any reports that were interested, but the Bleacher Report article, of course, Bleacher, they can throw anything out there. You just never know where these people get their sources or making things up. But, if Kyle Pitts is legitimately does become available, is that somebody you're interested in trading for? And what would you give up for him if you did? If you are?
No, I'm good. I pass on Kyle Pitts too.
Jamin
Davis locked him up in college, right? Yeah. Jamin Davis locked him up. That's all I need to know.
We misused Jamin Davis. That's number one. With your boy Ron Rivera and that dumb Trump supporter, whatever his name is, that we got up out of here. They misused him. So I'm gonna say this.
Minnesota used him well too, didn't they?
No,
Green Bay used him well.
Kyle Pitts did not come into a system where it was going to be pass friendly. Remember that the Arthur, whatever his name is, Arthur Smith, he's in Pittsburgh, and him and Russell Wilson, they got into it because he didn't want Russell Wilson to change up the plays. If it's a run play, keep with it. Although a quarterback sees something different, you're supposed to change up. All I'm gonna say is, Kyle Pitts, if he's not ruined, he may be a guy that you could put in with Zach Ertz and whoever you have on the other side, a Terry, that could be a matchup problem. Because Kyle Pitts still can run routes. It's just that maybe he's not in a system where he can be comfortable with. And it has something to do with your quarterback. It really does. Name the quarterbacks that Kyle Pitts had.
Carl, he had 110 targets his rookie year and over 1,000 yards.
Okay, and who
was his head coach then? Wasn't that Arthur Smith?
Yes.
And he had Matt Ryan at quarterback.
And he had your boy Kirk Cousins too, Kirk Frozens.
Yeah, and that's in a different regime.
But I'm just saying, this is another. Everybody cannot flourish under anybody.
Oh, I agree with you
Zach
on
Ertz
that.
was thinking about retiring. He said he found a new love for the game since he been here. Eliminates the kids. Nobody's gonna pick his ass up. Noah Brown, nobody's gonna pick him up. De'Ami Brown, we didn't even know he was on a team. So at the end of the day, that quarterback does something to these dudes. The offensive line, look at our offensive line. Our offensive line was trash the past 5 years. Look at how they've been blocking this year. Your quarterback makes a difference. So I'm just saying, I'm
He
not
had an
I'm
MVP at quarterback.
I'm not saying go get Kyle Pitts. I'm not saying don't go get him. I'm saying if you do go get him, they're doing their due diligence. They're privy to information you and I don't have. Now maybe you know a little bit because you with the 7-Eleven stuff, so you can sneak in the back door and do whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, we got to trust the process. And guess what? We got an ownership that's going to hold the general manager accountable, and the general manager is going to hold the head coach accountable. We don't have that mess we had for the past 30 years. We got something new here, and I'm really proud. And for those fans that's mad about the Commander's name, I want you to get the fuck on anyway.
Here we go.
Because you don't want to be here. You never wanted to be here. And I think y'all trolls anyway, especially Bob retarded ass.
Oh,
Get the fuck on. Get the fuck on. We don't want you here. When we moved from RFK, fuck boys, they ran to Baltimore. When we started losing, they started running to Baltimore and running to Dallas. Stay the fuck away from us. We real loyal fans. Get the fuck on. We don't fuck with you.
Well, how about you, Oscar?
I would bring Kyle Pitts, because he can. If we bring Zach Ertz back on a friendly deal, he can learn behind Zach Ertz. And we can. I believe that we can unlock. Cliff Kingsbury can unlock Kyle Pitts' potential here. Atlanta has been a laughing stock for many years since 28-3. So I think maybe give up a fifth or a sixth if the Falcons think that that's good enough, but that's as much as I will go, a fifth or a sixth. If maybe a fourth, but if it's more than that, nope, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think a fifth or sixth would be reasonable. They probably want a fourth since he was a first round pick, since he was a top 10 pick. And he's been solid. He's been inconsistent. He definitely hasn't lived up to the hype. When you draft a tight end in the top 10, you're supposed to be a juggernaut. You're supposed to be doing what Brock Bowers did this past season. That's the type of numbers that he really should be put. He's supposed to be, balling like Chris Cooley, but or even Jordan Reed without the concussions. But yeah, I mean, I think he would help for sure. It just depends on, like you said, Oscar, is a fifth round pick. Would they take a fifth? A fourth is probably what they're really looking for. So, but I think he's an intriguing player that would make the offense better. We need a yak guy. No yak Zach. He doesn't give you any yak. He does catch the ball, which is most important. He is a chain mover. He was huge on fourth down. He had some really big games up for us. I like how he got in Nick Sirianni's face and he was arguing with Nick Sirianni like they were about to fight and whatnot. I like that energy from Zach Ertz. I think he's a leader in the locker room as well. So I definitely want to bring Zach Ertz back. But you still need to bring in another tight end. You still need to bring in more talent at the tight end position for sure. Other trade candidates that were linked to that article, Deebo Samuel is terrible in my opinion. I don't think the Niners are trying to get rid of him. So I wouldn't have any interest in him. I know Garrett Wilson potentially could be asked in a trade. So what are your quick thoughts on Garrett Wilson? Warpath, I'll let you go first.
I'll take him. Because you're gonna get that fifth year. You'll get that fifth year option. Now, like I said, with everything, the price has got to be right. But you get a dynamic receiver. The kid was offensive rookie of the year 2 years ago. So that means he still has that year and that fifth year option on his contract. So I mean, that's what I look at. So you could have that dynamic talent. You pair him with that quarterback. You pair him with Terry McLaurin. You can stretch the field in the NFC East with that. I would kick the tires on Garrett Wilson. Not saying with everything, the price has got to be right.
How about you, OG?
I forgot about Garrett Wilson, and him and Aaron Rodgers never saw eye to eye. He get here, he got his old alumni Terry with him, and he got a quarterback that can get him the ball in any situation. That's better than picking up Kyle Pitts. You give me Myles Garrett and him, I'm willing to go into a fight with anybody. I really am.
I'm with it. Go ahead.
I'm not saying I'm with it. I'm with that. I'm with it. Now I know, like a Warpath, and I hate to agree with Morgan Freeman's nephew, but I'm with it if the price is right.
Yeah, how about you, Oscar?
Get him. That's all I gotta say. Get him. Like that'll solve the receiving problem. Honestly.
You got 1A, 1B with them two.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And Carl's boy Zacchaeus will come back. He'd be that fifth option for him.
If Olamide Zacchaeus is back on the team,
I'm
gonna knock him out, and then I'm gonna burn your Dallas jersey that you got in your house.
What Dallas jersey?
You got a Dallas jersey. I saw you with it on.
You ain't see me with it on. I know you ain't see me with it.
You was in Pizza Hut getting the meat lovers pizza. I saw you.
A meat lover. You saw. Okay. Yeah. Right. Man, I know you on some stuff now.
Yes.
Yeah. So Ben Sinnott, yes, he was clutch on that fake punt. That was the best catch of his whole season and the postseason as well. Him and Luke McCaffrey, they didn't have a prolific rookie seasons, but I do think they will have solid sophomore seasons, and we'll find a role for those guys. Luke McCaffrey now is returning kicks. Ben Sinnott may turn into the Kyle Juszczyk. He might turn into an H-back, fullback, or whatever next season. We'll see what happens with that. With John Bates, and then John Bates is a free agent. We didn't talk about him, but I would bring back John Bates.
Good blocker.
I don't think he's a good blocker. I don't think he's dog water Tyler Young, and he had a big catch for the Lions as well, where he had it was a big third down catch for sure. All right, so probably our last question or second to last. What was your favorite moment this year, other than the Hail Mary? Which was your favorite game or favorite play? And Oscar, I'll start with
you. I'm gonna go the win over the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only did that take us to the set the tone for the playoffs, but it was different. It made us feel like it was something different. None of the the 10-6 season with RG3 was great, but going 11-5 after 33 years was just insane. So I'm gonna go with when they clinched the playoff spot with the Falcons or against the Falcons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was at that game. The CJ didn't do that in overtime like that on Sunday Night Football, and a lot of viewers, and we set didn't break a record, but we had really good views since the 2017 Sunday Night Football game. I think we had the most viewers on a Week 17 Sunday Night Football game since 2017 or 2015. So there's gonna be a lot of primetime games for us next year with Jaden Daniels for sure. How about you, Warpath?
I mean, anytime that you get to see Carl down there in a drunken rage, just cussing and acting ignorant up in after a victory, it's a win for me. So any of those wins, that's just great. Seriously, I mean, the man crashed out, yelling at the sky, yelling at the clouds and everything. I think there's one video he put on TikTok before they shut down the first time. He was like literally yelling in the corner somewhere, and they thought they had to take him to the senior home. But that's fine. No, I think my favorite win was against the Eagles. And they will tell us this that we shouldn't celebrate this win. It was a fluky win. And that might be true. It might be true. But that was a game that this team had turned the ball over 5 times. We had no business winning the game. We shouldn't have won the game. No matter who was the quarterback, no matter who got ejected or who didn't get ejected. We won the game. And it was vindicated. It was a heck of a game. A great comeback. JD5 threw that interception on the penultimate offensive drive. And then what did he do? He led the team downfield, and Carl's boys, Jameson Crowder and Lamade Zaccheaus, they had 2 of their best games of their career. That's got to be a heck of a win for this team. And then I'll give you a bonus one. The Detroit game. That too, the Detroit game, because that's somewhere that Oscar, Ed, and myself have never seen. I mean, Carl saw Jesus playing football, but the 3 of us never saw that. No. And for that to get over the top and how we did it, that's those 2 games right there. Those were best wins of the season this year for me.
Not bad.
How about you, OG?
My game is the game that I picked, but I didn't think that we could do it that way. It was against the Bengals on prime time TV. Jaden Daniels not only arrived, but he sent the message. If the game is close, we're not kicking field goals. He went down the road, and Terry ain't never had a quarterback like this man. And to go down the road and catch that on the right side, over top of the shoulder, when nobody else could get it at, that was so special. That was like the recipe of all recipes. You still can't get over that meal right there. They did this to Joe Burrow, the one who should have been talking about as MVP. 40-something hundred yards passing, 40-something touchdowns. If he had a defense, they would probably be world beaters. We did this to them. We went in there with Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, and got the job done. How beautiful is that? To me, that was the biggest game of the season. Now, I agree with Warpath, 5 touchdowns and 5 turnovers. We shouldn't have been in the game. But at the end of the day, we did this before any of that happened. That put everybody on notice. This kid is for real. And Terry McLaurin is better than what they thought he was.
Oh, yeah, the Bengals game. I'm with you on that, too. The Monday Night Football game. Put the world on notice on national television. So, but yeah, we're going to wrap it up here, guys. Just want to thank you guys for coming on as always. Somebody asked how to be a channel member. Rocket Nearest is how to become an elite channel member. I want to talk ball. I'm going to put the link down in the description, and I'm going to put the link to everybody's channel, OG's Instagram as well, Warpath as well, Warpath YouTube channel, Oscar's YouTube channel. You guys are coming on as always. Make sure you guys check out their content. Warpath is an awesome Commanders content creator. Like I said, he does play-by-play for high school sports, college sports, basketball, football, whatever sport you name it. He does it. He gets it done. Does a great job. He really should be on Inside the NBA.
And the
LGBTQ. You're so ignorant. Why are you so ignorant? Why are you so ignorant? It's so terrible. We know you got that flag paint that you was wearing. We saw you in that pink and blue paint you had on. So stop that. Stop that, Carl.
Right. And then check out Oscar. He does awesome Commanders content and also does other sports like soccer, other sports as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to Oscar's channel as well. And check out OG's Instagram. I'll put that in the link as well. I'll put that in the description. All right, you guys. As always, Health Commanders, left hand up. Peace.